Tarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudeva Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupā Rashtatarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Vāman Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupā Rashtatarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Swāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupāda Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishtam Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupā Rashtatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupā Rashtatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishta Bhagavat Śrīla Gokṣaras Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai. Śrī Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Śrī Rupa Bhatta Raghunath. Śrī Jiva Gopal Bhattadash Raghunath Sharda Gosvāmī Prabhu Ki Jai. Śrī Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Śrī Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachay Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākura Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Śrī Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhar Śrīvasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Śrī Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandal Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Śrī Radha Kund Shama Kund Ki Jai. Śrī Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Śrī Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Śrī Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Śrī Purnamasi Yoga Maya Ki Jai. Śrī Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Śrī Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Śrī Antardeep Samantadeep Godurmadeep Baladeep Rudadeep Rudadeep Patmaka Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma Ki Jai. Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma Parikramā Ki Jai. Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma-māhātmya Ki Jai. Śrīla Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Śrī Nitāya Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Dandavat Pranams Madhavi Didi, Nareseshwari Mataji, Brajikishore Prabhu, Bimal Prabhu, Rohita Radha Krishnanji, and Gargaraji. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. So, and I'm sure Pradumna Prabhu, Rup Manjari Didi, and Champak Didi and others will come soon. Okay, so let us... read about yesterday. Let's just, oh God, it's so long though. I'm just going to, we read about the magnificence of Navadvīpa-dhāma, right? It's the glory of Navadvīpa-dhāma. Let's just, Antardeep, Samantadeep, Godrumadeep, Madhyadeep, Kaladeep, Rudadeep. What's, okay. Yeah, Madhyadeep and then Rudadeep. Okay. So, sorry, one second. If Bhagavan Shesh is unsuccessful in describing the glories of Navadvīpa-dhāma with his hundreds of mouths, then how can I, an insignificant living entity, succeed in doing so? Truly, the Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma are unlimited. Even Mahadev, the god of the demigods, cannot reach their end. According to the will of Sri Chaitanya, the devotees have instructed me to describe the greatness of Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma. I can do this only because of their merciful order. Okay. So anyways, I'm not going to go through all of this, but just like to always get a little feeling of the previous, like what we read the previous day. Okay, so let's just start with the second chapter now. Okay, sorry guys. Okay. Chapter 2, Mangalacharan, Auspicious Invocation. Let me just open up my book because, as I mentioned before, I'm doing a proofread right now also because we're just about to reprint this book. And so I'm going to mark in my book any places that need to have changes. Jaya Jaya Navadvipa Chandra Sachi Sutta Jaya Jaya Nityananda Raya Vadhuta. All glories to Śrī Sachinandan, the moon of Śrī Navadvīpa. All glories to Śrī Nityananda Prabhu, the Avadhut. Jaya Jaya Navadvipa Sarvadhamasar She Dhamera Tattva Varne Sada Achekar. All glories to Śrī Navadvīpa, the essence of all holy abodes. Who would possibly be able to describe the real nature of this dham? Navadvipa-dhāma-māhātmya bhitare Janavi sevita hoye sada shobha kore. Śrī Navadvīpa is situated within Gaura-mandal and is served by Śrī Janava-devi, Ganga, who further enhances its beauty. The circumference of Śrī Gaura-mandal and Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma. Śrī Gaura-mandala eka vinshati yojan. Madhya bhage Ganga Devi rahe anukshan. The circumference of Śrī Gaura-mandal is 20 yojanas, 168 miles, and Śrī Ganga Devi is in its center, always flowing throughout. Shatadala Parmamay Mandala Akar Madhya Bhage Navadvipa Atishobhatar. Śrī Gaura-mandal is like a lotus flower with 100 petals, with the supremely beautiful Śrī Navadvīpa situated at its center. Panchakrosha hoitar Keshara Adhar Parimala Purna Pushpa Yojana Chatvar. This most fragrant flower, Śrī Navadvīpa, has 8 petals and measures 4 yojanas, 32 miles or 16 koshas. In the middle of this flower is stamen-like base, which is Antardīpa. The circumference of Antardīpa is 10 miles, 5 kosas. Bahira papaditar shatadala hoy ekadika yojana vinshati vistarai. The outer portion of this lotus flower is the entire Gaura-mandal with its 100 petals. It has a circumference of 21 yojanas, 168 miles or 84 kosas. Mandala papaditar shatadala hoy ekadika yojana vinshati visai. Sorry, I read the wrong. Mandala paridhi hoy she pariman yojana saptaka vyasa strera vidhana vyasarda pramana sardha tritiya yojan madhya bindu hoite tar hoibe ganan madhya bindu Navadvipa dhama madhyastal yoga pita hoy taha chinmaya vimal. According to scripture, the diameter of Śrī Gaura-mandal is 7 yojanas, 56 miles, or 28 kosas. Half of this diameter is 3.5 yojana, 28 miles, or 14 kosas. Right in the center of this flower is Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma, where Mahaprabhu's transcendental and pure birthplace, Yogapit, is splendidly situated. So here's a picture. There's, was it 108 petals or is it 100 petals? I think it's 100 petals. Yes, 100 petals. Śrī Gauramandala is like a lotus flower with 100 petals with the supremely beautiful Śrī Navadvīpa situated at its center. And then there's 8 petals, which measure 4 yojanas. In the middle of this is Untitled. So let's see. There's Untitled, which is 10 miles. Then there's Navadvīpa, which is 32 miles with 8 petals. And then there's Gauramandala, which is 168 miles, which has 100 petals. All right, so you got a picture of Navadvīpa and Gauramandala. The true nature of Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma. Chintamani rupa hoy e Gauramandala. Oh, I memorized all these verses before, this whole section. Chidanandamay dham chinmaya sakal. I put hyphens in here. Chidanandamay dham. Okay. This holy abode of Gauramandala is like a chintamani, or a desire-fulfilling gem. It is constituted of knowledge and bliss, and all that is within it, and all that is within it is transcendental. Jala bhumi vriksha adi sakali chinmay sadavidyamana tatha Krishna Shakti tray. Everything in Gauramandala, including the water, land, is transcendental. The 3 spiritual potencies of Sri Krishna, Sandhini, Samvit, and Hladini, are always present here. The transcendental Dham is a transformation of Sandhini Shakti. Swarupa Shakti Raje Sandhini Prabhav Tar Parinati E Dhamera Swabhav. The constitutional nature of the transcendental Dham is a transformation of the Sandhini potency. Sandhini is a division of Sarup Shakti, the Lord's internal energy. The ignorant conditioned soul's vision of the Dham. Prabhu lila pita rupe dhama nitya hoy achintya shakti rakarya prapanchika noy tabe je e dhame dekhe prapanche rasama baddhata he hoy avidya vibhrama. This Dham is eternal because it is the place of Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's pastimes. None of the functions of the Supreme Lord's inconceivable potency, Achintya Shakti, are material. Nevertheless, conditioned souls misled by ignorance perceive the Dham from an external perspective, as merely the material world. Meghachana chakshu dekhe surya achadita divakara nahi kabo hoy meghavrita Śrī Rupa e Gauramandala chir akar prapanchika jana dekhe jadera vikar. One whose vision is covered by a cloud may think that the cloud is covering the sun, but the sun cannot be covered by a cloud. Similarly, although this Gauramandala is transcendental, one with material intelligence sees the Dham as material. Oops, sorry, I forgot to scroll down. Okay. Darshan of this transcendental abode by Sri Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. Nityananda kripa jar pratikabhu hoy se dekhe ananda dham sarvatra chinmay. Whoever gets the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu will perceive the spiritual nature of the blissful Dham. Ganga Yamunadi Tata Sadhya Vidyaman Saptapuri Prayagadi ache stan. To such a person is revealed that Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Godavari, and other holy rivers perpetually flow together here, and that Prayag and the other 7 holy cities are present at various important places. Shakshata Vaikunta Tattva E Godamandal Bhagyavana Jivataha Dekhe Niramal. The fortunate living entity beholds this Godamandal as the pure and manifest realm of Vaikunta. Why cannot everyone behold the transcendental Dham? Swarupa Shaktira Chaya Maya Boli Jare Prabhura Agyaya Nija Prabhava Avistare. One second, somebody sent messages, just seeing. Okay. Shadow of the Swarup Shakti is called Maya Shakti, or the illusory energy. And on the order of the Lord, she spreads her power of illusion. Bahir Mukha Jiva Chakshu Kore Avaran Chidhama Prabhava Sabe Napai Darshan. This illusory energy covers the eyes of the living entities who have turned away from the Lord. For this reason, not everyone can perceive the influence of this transcendental abode, the true nature of the inhabitants of Śrī Godamandal. E Godamandale jar vasa nirantar boro bhagyavana shre sangsara bhitar. Those who eternally reside in Godamandal are the most fortunate in this material world. Deva gane swarge thaki dekhe she jane chatur mamakanti apurva gathane. When the demigods in Swarga see people living in Godamandal, they perceive them all as having 4 arms, darkish complexions, and an astonishingly beautiful body with good stature and strength. This is talking about the pure residents of Godamandal, of course. The true nature of the inhabitants of Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma. Sholakrosha Navadvīpa-dhāma-vasi jata Gaurakanti Sadanama Sankirtane Rata. All the inhabitants of this 32-mile, 16 kosas area of Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma have a golden, a gaur complexion, and they are always absorbed in Nam Sankirtan. Shribrahmation of the residents of Navadvip. Brahma Adi Deva Gane Antariksha Vete Navadvipa Vasi Gane Puje Nana Mate. Even Brahma and other demigods from the celestial realm worship the inhabitants of Navadvip in various ways. Brahma bole kabhe mor heno bhagya bhabe. Navadvipatrina kale vara pavo tabe. Shri Gauracharana seva kore jata jan. Tasabare padarenu labhibota khan. Lord Brahma says, when will I be fortunate enough to take birth even as a blade of grass in Navadvip? If someone asks why I should desire such a birth, even though I am Brahma, I will answer, "Oh brother, in this way I will obtain the foot dust of all the devotees engaged in the service of Śrī Gauranga Mahaprabhu's divine feet. This would be impossible otherwise." Hai Mora Gora Chandra Vanchana Koriya Brahmandera Adhipati Rakhilo Koriya. Alas, alas, Shri Gaurachandra tricked me and made me the master of the universe. Kabe mor karanti hoi bechedan Abhimana tyaji mor Shuddha habe man. When will the binding knots of my fruitive activities be cut open? When will my mind become pure as I give up false pride? Adhikara buddhi mor kabe bekshoy. Shuddha dasa hoye pabo. Gora padashray. When will my self-conception that I am the creator of this universe vanish? When will I become a pure servant of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu and attain the shelter of his lotus feet? The greatly glorious Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma. Devagana Rishigana Rudragana Jata Sthane Sthane Navadvipa Boise Abhirata. Demigods, sages, the Rudras, and so forth reside in different places of Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma. I think it should be the Rudras, right? I'll just make a note. The 11 Rudras are expansions of Lord Shiva. Chirakala tapakori jivana katai tabo nityananda kripa se sabe na pai. Even though they all have long since spent their lives engaged in austerities, they still could not perceive the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. It is impossible to get Sri Gaur Nityananda's mercy as long as the false ego remains. Deva buddhi jata dina nahi jai dure, jata dina dainya bhava mane nahi spure, tatta dina Shri Gaura nitai kripadhan, Brahma Shiva nahi pai, Koriya Jatana. Unless demigods such as Brahma and Shiva abandon the mindset that I am a demigod, and humility awakens in their heart, they are unable to receive the treasure of Sri Gaur Nityananda's mercy, despite great endeavor. What to speak of others? The authors entreaty that the reader faithfully hear narrations of these pastimes further on. E saba kata age hoibe prakash, jatna kori suno bhai, koriya vishwas. All of these topics will be narrated further on in this book. O brothers, listen to them carefully and faithfully. The destination of a person using mundane logic to understand transcendental topics. Esava vishaye bhai tarka para tarka se aparta ati amangalacharan. Oh brothers, avoid using mundane logic in regard to these topics, because the logic is useless and inauspicious. Shri Chaitanya Lila hoy Gabhira sagar, mocha khola rupa tarka, tathai pampar. 1 second. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are like a deep ocean. On the contrary, mundane logic is as troublesome as the many layers of skin that cover banana flowers. What's the need of that footnote there? I don't get it. Mark that. Okay. Tarka kori e sangsara tarite je chai, viphalata hara cheshta kichui na pai. The efforts of one using mundane logic to attain deliverance from the material world are unsuccessful. Nothing is gained in such endeavor. The destination of one who accepts the shelter of the saints and the holy scriptures. Tarke jalanjali. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Okay. Sorry, guys. Tarke Jalan, the destination of one who accepts the Shatu. Tarke Jalanjali diya sadhu shastra dhare, achire chaitanya labha she jana kore. One who abandons mundane logic and takes shelter only of sadhus and shastras quickly attains the mercy of Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shruti smriti tantra shastra avirata gai, Nadiya Mahatma Nitya Nandera Agyai. Following the order of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the Shrutis, Smritis, Tantras, and all other scriptures always praise the majesty of Śrī Navadvīpa. Sheshava Shastra Poro Sadhu Vakyaman, Tavito Hoibe Tava Navadvipa Gyan. Study these scriptures and have faith in the words of the sadhus. Then you will understand the glories of Śrī Navadvīpa. Only Navadvīpa-dhāma is powerful in Kali Yuga. Kali Kale Tirtha Sabha Atyanta Durbal, Navadvīpa Tirtha Matra Parama Prabhal. All sacred places are extremely weak in Kali Yuga. Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma alone is supremely powerful. Prabhura ichayashe tirtha bahudin, aprakata mahima achilo spurtihin. By the desire of the Lord, this holy abode and its glories remain unmanifest for an extremely long time. The most merciful and compassionate Supreme Lord is concerned for the well-being of the jivas. Kalira prabhave jabe atyanta borilo, Anya tirtha sabhavata nisteja hoilo. Jivera mangala lagi purusha pradhan, mane mane chinta kori korilo vidhan. When the influence of Kali Yuga greatly increased and all the holy places consequently lost their power, the Supreme Lord, out of his concern for the well-being of the living entities, searched for a remedy to help them. Pida Bhuji Vaidyaraja Oshada Kawai. Katina Oshada Deya Katina Pidai. Hey, there's a mistake. There should be a dot under the S, not above the S. Katina Oshada Deya Katina Pidaya. Ebe Kali Ghora Hoilo Roga Hoilo Bhari, Katina Oshada Bina Nibarite Nari. The Supreme Lord thought, an expert doctor gives medicine to his patient after understanding his patient's suffering. If the patient is very sick, the doctor gives him especially potent medicine. Similarly, in the fearsome Kali Yuga, the people have developed a severe disease that cannot be cured without an extremely potent medicine. Atishaya Gopanera Kinu Jai Dham, Atishaya Gopanera Kinu Jai Nam, Atishaya Gopanera Kinu Jai Rupa, Prakasha na koile jiva, Taribe ki rupa. Pretty sure, I think Gopana is an N with a dot under it. Gopana. Oh, maybe not. Okay. How will these living beings attain deliverance if I will not, even now, manifest the name and the divine form of my holy abode? The divine form of my holy abode, which I have so far kept concealed. The eternal relationship between the jiva and the Supreme Lord. Sorry, I read that not so well. Jivato amara dasa amitar prabhu aminatari leshe nataribe kabo. All living entities are my servants, and I am their master. If I do not liberate them, then who will? Without my mercy, they can never be delivered. E bole Shri Chaitanya hoilo prakash, Nija nama nija dhama, loye nija da. Thinking in this way, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Śrī Navadvīpa, along with his holy name, his holy abode, and his servants. The Supreme Lord's resolve always comes true. Prabhura pratigya e hoy sarvakal. Taribo sakala jiva guchavo janjal. Does pratigya, is it pratigya? Let me just check. Yeah, it is. Brahmara durlabha dhana bilabo sangsare patra patra na bachibo e avatare. I will bestow upon every material world a treasure, a prem, that is rare for even Brahma to obtain. In this incarnation, I will not consider who is fit or an unfit recipient of this treasure. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's promise to destroy Kali's influence. Dekibo ki rupe Kali jiver kore nash, Navadvīpa-dhāma-māhātmya koribo prakash, Śrī dhame kalira bangibo vishadanta. Oops. Kirtana koriya jive kori atma sata. I will see how Kali destroys the living beings when I manifest my Navadvīpa-dhāma. In that sacred abode, I will break the poisonous teeth of Kali. Performing kirtan, I will make the living entities my own. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's prophecy. Jatadura mama nama hoibe kirtan, Tatadura hoibe to kalira daman. According to the magnitude of the chanting of my names, the influence of Kali Yuga will be subdued. In other words, Kali Yuga will flee far away from the places where the holy name is chanted. E boli gora hari kalira sandhyai prakashilo Navadvīpa swakiya mayai. Thinking thus, Shri Gaur Hari manifested Navadvīpa-dhāma at the beginning of Kali Yuga by his internal potency, Yogamaya. Chaya Samvariya Nitya Swarupa Vilas Gora Chandra Goda Bhume Korilo Prakash. Shri Gaurachandra manifested his eternal pastimes in Goda Bhumi after removing his illusory energy, Mahamaya, who is the shadow of his Sarup Shakti, Yogamaya. The most unfortunate person. Emona doyalu Prabhu jai janana bhaje. Emona achinta dhama jai jana tyaje. E kali kale tar samabhagyahin. Na dekhi jagate a shochaniya din. In Kali Yuga, there is no one more unfortunate and wretched than that person who does not worship such a supremely merciful Lord and who rejects such an inconceivable holy abode. Of the author. Ataiva chari bhai anya vancharati Navadvīpa-dhāme matra ho ekamati. Therefore, O brothers, give up all other desires and fix your minds only on Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma. That is, please reside in Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma. The author's prayer to obtain his desired service. Janavanitai pada chaya jar ash, She Bhaktivinoda kore e tattva prakash. Desiring to attain the cooling shade of Śrī Nityananda Prabhu's and Śrī Janava's lotus feet, Bhaktivinoda is revealing this truth. Thus ends chapter 2. All right. So tomorrow, what are we reading about tomorrow? Does the pastime start? Oh, the voice describe the different places in Navadvīpa-dhāma. Okay. And then it will start. Okay. So I gotta take off now. I have a guest coming, so I'll just end quickly. Haribol, Champak Didi, and Bipul, Nashkar. Yes. Yes, Manjari Didi. Haribol, Pajumna Prabhu. All right. See you all tomorrow. And Hare Krishna Sharmaji. All right. Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Srila Param Gurudev Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Punu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Saparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Śrī Navadvīpa-dhāma-māhātmya ki jai, Śrīla Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki jai, Śrī Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. See you all tomorrow for chapter 3. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Vipul.